Hello, my name is Nupur Shah, and today the topic which I am going to cover is known as classification of sports injuries. Basically, in this video, we will cover only the acute part of the sports injuries, and in the next video, I will cover the overuse part of the sports injuries. So, coming on to the first slide, as you can see, various acute injuries as per the classification of bone, articular cartilage, joint. For example, for bone, the acute injuries can be a fracture or periosteal contusion. For articular cartilage, it can be osteochondral or chondral fractures. For joint, it can be dislocation or subluxation. For ligament, it can be sprain or a tear. For a muscle, again it can be a strain or a tear or contusion, cramp or acute compartment syndrome. Likewise, there are various acute injuries which we will cover in this video. So how are the acute injuries caused? It is caused either by the extrinsic causes or by intrinsic causes. For extrinsic causes, we have examples of a direct blow from a player or an equipment, and for intrinsic causes, we have ligament sprain or muscle tear. It is classified according to the particular site injured, that is what we saw in the previous slide, and it can be named according to the bone or cartilage or ligament, and the type of injury can be named based on a fracture, dislocation, sprain or strain. Coming on to the first one, what are the acute injuries which are covered under the heading of bone? Number one is a fracture. Fracture, the causes are direct blow or fall in the outstretched hand. And second example of the bone acute injury is periosteal injuries, which is not so common. Now, what are the complications of a fracture? We all know that if there are certain factors, such as if the patient is suffering from diabetes, or if the patient is aged, if the patient is not keeping the immobilized limb in an immobilized position properly, then there are chances of either non-union, either malunion or delayed union. Other complications are DVT, associated injuries of blood vessels or even nerves, and acute compartment syndrome and infection. These were the complications of bone. These are the types of fracture which you can see. The first one is the transverse fracture, the second one is the oblique fracture, the third one is a spiral fracture, and the final one is the comminuted fracture. Second example of the bone acute injury is periosteal injuries. Like I said, it is very rare, and the example is hip pointer. Hip pointer is an injury of the periosteum of the iliac crest caused by direct blow. Another example is of the periosteal injury of the tibia from a blow of the kick or stick or ball. Second is articular cartilage injuries. Here you can see in the picture various types of injuries which happen in the articular cartilage. First is, it is a disruption of the articular cartilage very superficially, as you can see in the picture, which is centrally located. Then the second is the disruption of the deep articular cartilage, and the final is the disruption of the articular cartilage along with the subchondral bone. So these are the types of the articular cartilage injury. What are the properties of the articular cartilage? We all know that it acts as a shock absorber, and it gives smooth movements to the joints, and it also absorbs the compressive forces which act on the joint. What are the causes of injury? Acute shearing injuries such as a dislocation or subluxation. We all know what is a dislocation. When a trauma has happened to the patient or an athlete, and if the articular cartilages, if the articular cartilage of the joint has completely been displaced, means there is not even minimal contact between each other, then it is known as a dislocation. And if the articular surfaces is in minimal contact, then it is known as subluxation. Common sites of chondral or osteochondral injuries are talus or femoral condyles, patella, capitulum of the humerus. Osteochondral injuries is associated with the soft tissue conditions such as ligament sprain or complete rupture. So if the pain or swelling remains for a longer period of time following a sprain, then we should ask the patient to get an MRI done, because there are chances of articular cartilage injury. Acute damage to the articular cartilage predisposes to OA, and so every attempt should be made to restore its smooth surface. Immobilization is not good for an articular cartilage, so the machine called as CPM, that is continuous passive motion, will help in place of immobilization. Coming on to the joint, In joint, we all know that it happens, the joint is injured because the joint is injured and it is either known as dislocation or subluxation, and the stability of the joint depends on the anatomy, that is the structure. For example, hip has more strength as compared to the shoulder because the anatomy of the hip is as such that it has more strength, and the structure alone is capable enough to withstand all the forces which come on the hip on the day-to-day basis. And the shoulder is, its structure is such that the glenoid part is small than the head of the humerus, so it is likely to be dislocated in the more number as compared to the hip. Stable joints need more surfaces to dislocate, and that's why it's associated with other injuries such as a fracture, nerve damage, or vascular damage. This happens in basically in the hip. In the picture, you can see the dislocation and subluxation. The first picture is of subluxation and the second picture is of dislocation. What are the complications which happens because of this subluxation or a dislocation? That is, axillary nerve injury can happen because of shoulder dislocation, and brachial artery damage can happen because of elbow dislocation. Treatment: usually close reduction is done, and after reduction joint is kept in a protected position for the ligaments and joint capsule to heal. It means it has to be given a certain amount of time so that it heals. The ligaments and the capsules which could have been overstretched can be healed properly, and early protected mobilization is encouraged, followed by strengthening exercises. Now coming on to ligament, what are the grades? Grade 1 is these are the ligament tear grades. Grade 1, some fibers are stretched and normal range of motion of the joint is present. In grade 2, increased laxity, increased proportion of the fibers are involved, and there is a definite endpoint. And in grade 3, there is complete tear, and it can be possible that the patient might not be having any pain because even the sensory fibers are torn and the patient is not feeling any pain, and there is excessive laxity. You can see the management of ligament injuries here. For grade 1, grade 2 and grade 3, the management is given in the form of a flowchart, and initially we do first aid management, and that is followed by electrotherapeutic modalities, joint mobilization, soft tissue massage in the subsequent sessions of physiotherapy. These things are given, and if there is grade 3, then we ask the patient to consult a doctor and go for a surgery. Either repair is done or reconstruction is done, and after that protective bracing is given for healing purpose. And in the last stage, we focus on muscle strengthening, proprioceptive exercises and functional training as per the need of that particular athlete or the patient. Coming on to muscles, in muscles there are these things happening, that is it can either tear or strain. Second example is of cramp, and the third example is of the contusion. The first thing is mentioned here is of a tear. We will see that it occurs when the fibers fail to cope up with the demand placed on them. Means if some demands are placed on the muscle and some strengthening exercises are done, and if the muscle is not able to cope up with it, means he is not able to do the particular exercise or do the particular movement, then it is said that it is overloaded, and at that time there are chances to have a muscle tear or a strain of the muscle. And they have told that muscle tear is common in which types of muscles. If the muscle is of two joint muscle, then it is more common. For example, hamstrings, quadriceps and gastrocnemius. These three muscles are the two joint muscles where the muscle tear or a strain is most common. Grades of the tear: grade 1, small number of muscles are involved and no loss of strength, and there is localized pain. Grade 2, tear of significant number of muscle fibers with pain and swelling is present, and pain on contraction will be there. And grade 3, there is complete tear, and it is seen mainly in the muscular tendinous junction. Coming on to the next slide, that is predisposing factors of the muscle strain. Number 1 is warm up. Number 2 is muscle tightness or less range of motion because of any other reason apart from muscle tightness. Then fatigue, muscle imbalance, previous injury or faulty biomechanics. We have seen all these factors in the previous video of prevention of an injury. So we know which factors to focus on to prevent these types of sports injuries. Next is contusion. It occurs because of the direct blow on the muscle. That direct blow on the muscle could be by anything, and the common site is the anterior portion of the thigh, that is the quadriceps muscle, and it is mostly seen in the collision sports such as football or hockey, and it causes local muscle damage with bleeding. What are the treatment part consists of we try to resorption, we try to do the resorption of the clot with modalities and soft tissue therapy, and heat or vigorous massage is contraindicated in such conditions as it will aggravate the situation. And we can also provide a protective equipment to the athlete for protection, and he can prevent the injury of contusion. The third type of acute injury within the muscle is cramps. First we saw was the tear or strain. The second which we saw was the contusion, and now we are coming on to the cramps. It is painful and involuntary muscle contractions. The common site is calf muscles, caused by dehydration, low sodium and potassium level in the body, then excessively tight muscles, and inadequate intake of carbohydrate in the diet. So treatment will be stretching, rehydration, correct the muscle imbalance, and high carbohydrate meal just before the activity or just before the sport. Now coming on to the tendon, we already saw in the Achilles tendon that mostly in the tendon it is either partial rupture or the complete rupture, and injury will occur at the point of least blood supply. And for example, in the Achilles tendon the injury occurs just 2 centimeters above the point of the insertion or at the muscular tendinous junction. It ruptures suddenly without any indication following a trauma, and most common is supraspinatus tendon tear or Achilles tendon tear. You can see the picture of the Achilles tendon tear. One is partial. The left hand side the picture is given, which is a partial tear, and on the right hand side you can see there is a complete tendon rupture of the Achilles tendon. Coming on to the nerves, first and the only example in the acute injury of the nerve is known as neuropraxia. Here there is mild compression of the nerve, and it is the recovery is spontaneous and no need of giving any treatment. And here there is transient conduction block of the motor and sensory function for some amount of time, and it will resolve on its own. This is the mildest form of the nerve injury, and this is the only injury mentioned in the acute injuries of the nerve. Coming on to the bursa, they are the fluid-filled sacs situated between a tendon and a bone, and mostly it is an overuse injury. Occasionally there occurs acute traumatic bursitis. So under the heading of acute injuries for the bursa, we have only one condition known as acute traumatic bursitis. Rest other injuries of the bursa will be there in the overuse section, which we will do in the next video. And the management for bursitis is nothing but ice and compression. The last part here in the acute injuries is of skin, and for skin we have skin problems such as laceration and open wounds are very common under the heading of skin. And how will we treat that? So first job is to stop the bleeding. For that any pressure bandage is given, and obviously we will elevate the part. The second thing is to prevent the infection. For preventing the infection, firstly we will clean all the dirt and contamination, and we will wash it and make the use of the antiseptic solution. And after that, if the contamination is already there or if it is worsening, then we can start antibiotic therapy and alter the dose as necessary. Next is immobilization. Immobilization is very important as if there is a wound on the part which is constantly moving, for example anterior part of the knee, and for the wound to heal we have to keep it immobilized strictly, otherwise it will be very difficult for the wound to heal on itself. And last is we have to check the tetanus status, hence the tetani immunization has to be done after the injury or after the trauma. So these are all the conditions which are covered under the heading of the acute injuries. You can see here, and the overuse part, all these injuries mentioned of the overuse part will be done in the next video. Thank you.